My name is Scott Jordan. I'm the CEO and founder of SCOTTeVEST, and I'm here to answer 8 questions for Steiner Sports. And I'm just going to start off. They're lengthy questions, or really thought-provoking questions, so I'll try not to be too lengthy in my answers. But starting with my book, Pocket Man. Who did I first write this book for, and why did I write the book? Well, I thought I had a story to tell, and the audience was intended to entertain first and foremost. So anyone who wants an entertaining read shouldn't take a long time to read it at all. It's a great book. It's available on Amazon, and you can also download it on as an Audible book as well. So I highly recommend it. And I really felt like I didn't want to preach. I wanted to entertain, and I wanted to tell my story and tell people that if you're passionate about your idea and you pursue it with all that you have, that you can succeed. So the next question: there were just 2 things that someone had to learn from reading this book. What would they be? 2 things. That is hard. I think it sounds trite, but passionate personal promotion. It's just do what you are passionate about, and you will do it better, and you will have a much more enjoyable time doing it. That's the first thing. And I think just perseverance. Half of starting a business and running a business is just never saying no and working harder and harder to get things done. So I know that sounds really simplistic, but it sort of is, but that's really what matters, and that's the 2 biggest lessons in the book. Where did I first get the idea for SCOTTeVEST? I was traveling as a corporate attorney. I hated my job, but I was traveling quite a bit. Actually, Monday I would leave on an airplane to Princeton, New Jersey, and Thursday I would come back. And I was fumbling around with all my devices, and it was just frustrating. And I thought someone else must have this very same experience. So I designed the very first SCOTTeVEST. And for those of you who don't know what a SCOTTeVEST is, it is a whole line of clothing, a paradigm-shifting line of clothing that incorporates pockets in a fashion that are all integrated in a fashion that you can't tell from the exterior. So that was the inspiration. It's sort of like a fishing vest, but with much better looking pockets. And we have shirts and pants and hats and underwear and jackets and vests. We've grown well beyond that. So, which leads me to the next question. How has the concept advanced or developed since I first introduced the first iteration of the SCOTTeVEST? Well, we started out with the eVest 1.0, and I really thought it was just going to be a proof of concept to license the concept to other larger brands, which we've done. But what I've discovered is I was building a brand along the way. It's not just a singular product. So we have 40 plus products, men, women, and all different psychographics and demographics. And we were the first company to start online as a clothing brand to this day. And so we're now starting to expand into brick and mortar with some really unique concepts. What's it been like working with Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak on the company board? Well, I can't say I really work with Steve. Steve is on my board of advisors, and from here and there, I engage with him on email. I've shot a series of Wozisodes. I have had the pleasure of being in his company on several occasions. He is awesome. He's the kindest, smartest, gentlest, most caring person I've ever encountered, and he's taught me a lot about human beings in that regard. So we really don't work together on a day-to-day basis. For those of you who know what an advisory board is typical of, it's not necessarily a working relationship. So talk about my Shark Tank experience and what I learned from it. Any regrets? So I was on Shark Tank about 3 years ago with my wholly owned subsidiary called Technology Enabled Clothing, and I was the only contestant on the show to actually tell 3 of the sharks they were out. I was offered $1 million, and I couldn't accept the offer because they were offering it for SCOTTeVEST, and I was pitching technology-enabled clothing. And if I dare uttered the word SCOTTeVEST during the taping, even though they could have edited it out, I would have had given the producers 5% of my business, whether a deal was done or not. That clause has since been taken out of the contracts, but when I was doing it, it was there. So the experience was awesome. What I learned from it, I learned it's all about the edit, because they made, it was drama, it's TV, it's not a place you go to raise money at all. So, I learned that, all promotion is good promotion, and if I had an opportunity to actually show the product more, it would have been much better. No regrets. My one regret is I spent too much time preparing for it. And I bought a whole bunch of inventory thinking we were going to sell a ton as a result, and we didn't. It did not sell inventory. It sold ratings for ABC, which is what they wanted, but it didn't sell products per se. What's the biggest challenge I have faced, and how did I overcome it? So the biggest challenge I think I have faced is learning how to become a better manager of people. And I can't say I fully have overcome it. I'm working on it every single day. I just thought you pay someone money, you give them a job description, and they do their job. But nothing could be further from the truth. You have to establish a company culture. You have to explain what is important, why it's important. You have to reiterate it and emphasize it as much as possible. And it's been a real challenge, and a lot of entrepreneurs, I think, in a growing business, go through this period. And I was warned about, the difference between a small company and I'd call ourselves a mid-sized company is, you change from an entrepreneur to a manager, and that's something that didn't come and doesn't come naturally to me. What are the most important things someone needs to know when starting a new company? Okay, the most important thing is this: it's not the idea that matters, it's the execution. So many people in starting a new company focus so much time on finding that perfect idea. It's not the perfect idea that no one has ever thought about. Find an idea that you can feel passionate about and that you will want to pursue because you enjoy that idea, not because it's necessarily the one that no one has done before or something that is the most profitable, but something that resonates with you. In my case, I love gadgets. So, to me, designing a line of clothing that accommodates gadgets it resonated with me. It's something I could feel passionate about, and all the technology involved with being the first online clothing brand was really something I was passionate about. Secondly, I would say the most important thing in starting a business, I'm going to sum it up in 2 letters. FU. You have to FU everything you do. Follow up. You'd be shocked to understand how many people send an email, and if they don't get a reply, they just forget about it. Or emails that I send and I don't get a reply. You have to follow up. I flag every email that I get. Everything I start doing, I FU it until it's done. And that's not only starting a business, that's in life. Anything worth starting is worth finishing. Now, there will come to a point in time when someone doesn't reply to your 10th email that you might as well just come up with it, 11th email, make it compelling, and then stop following up. But I rarely have gotten there. The last thing, the most important things in starting a new company is to establish clear procedures and corporate cultures, and read enough to know of people who have formed businesses to do those things. Now, I wish I had done that myself, but I didn't. That was one of my biggest challenges. If I had known how important it was to create a mission, for example, that others can get behind from the get-go, I would have done so. So those are my answers to Steiner Sports 8 questions. I hope that this is informative to you, and check out my website, SCOTTeVEST.com. Bring it. I'm out of here.